I left the banking job I had it for over 2 years, and the reason I left, it was just a myriad of stuff. The It was hard to get promoted. I got one raise in 2 years, and it was a quarter. And yeah, I know, blah blah blah. You should be happy to get a raise, but a quarter is just really shitty because it was like a quarter collectively. It wasn't a quarter an hour. So it ended up being really shitty. And I would have been fine with it if I'd come up for a raise and they turned me down. But a lot of places, when you come up for raises, they cannot wait. They look forward to it. Oh, we're going to find everything you've ever done wrong or ever will do wrong, and we're going to throw you under the bus. I don't like stuff like that. If somebody's worked their ass off the whole year to get a raise and time comes for raises and you're just looking for stuff, that just tells people they're not appreciated. Another thing was everyone had trouble moving up. Everyone I worked with was more experienced than me, more senior than me, longer in the tooth, and they were trying to move up, and they kept telling them, well, we need more. We need more of this, this, or this, or this. And then 6 months go by, and, oh, well, you're doing good, but you should need to keep it up. And just feed them bullshit so they could keep giving them that quarter an hour. So they weren't liking it either, because if you want to see how easy or hard it is to move up, just look at the people around you. Are they getting new positions? Are they moving up? Or are they just staring into space? And I wanted to get nothing more than to get licensed and try to be a financial advisor. Well, I talked to the district manager, and she was just like, well, shit, no. And she couldn't believe I had the nerve to ask that. So that was hurtful. And then another time, I made a mistake doing something, and my branch manager yelled at me, and I told the guy I work with, this just makes it easier to leave. So I found a new position. It was a step down and less pay, but it was closer to where I lived. It wasn't a 160-mile-a-day commute. So the money kind of evened out, because actually gas wasn't as high as it was now, but still. So I was supposed to be a universal banker. Universal banker, half the time I would work as a teller, the other half I would work as a banker. As was promised. I said, okay, cool. I'll work as a teller. I don't mind it. Gives more opportunity to make money as a banker, because you see the customers, you know what they have going on, they know what they need. But it turned into 100% of the time as a teller. They would say, well, next week. It was always next week. Just like a Tennessee football fan, it was always next year that their team would be better. Next week, we'll get you that time as a banker so you can make money, because I was losing on incentive because they weren't giving me time to call customers, talk to customers. But it was, oh no, you can work as a teller and try to meet your banker goals and meet them. They were expecting me to meet them. There wasn't no try during your idle time. It's like, what do you expect me to do? There's not many banks in town, and a lot of people just bank here. So what am I supposed to do? And no one ever had a good answer. It was just, hey, do your damn job. So I realized, what am I doing? I took a step back. I want to be closer to my daughter, so I started looking for jobs and found a position where my daughter lived, interviewed, and got it. I actually got it a month after this universal banker job, because here's my school of thought on new opportunities. There are people that'll tell you, oh, you need to stay at that job for at least 18 months. That's a bunch of bullshit. If the better opportunity, the new opportunity doesn't have a timetable, and no one cares how long you stayed there, which it doesn't look good because I only have 3 months at that universal banker job, but the better opportunity came along. But I got hired a month in, but It was the height of COVID. So I couldn't get fingerprinted. Nobody could get me through. And I looked all over the state. I even looked out of state, and nobody was doing it. So I had to wait until I could finally find somebody to do it. And then I got hired in. And I liked the job. They paid really well. And that's what I learned. If somebody pays you well, you will like what you do because they pay well. You will like going to work. It doesn't make sense, but it did. I liked going to work. I liked what I did. The incentive was pretty decent. You're not going to get rich off of incentive in financial services. Like I told you before, at the one job, it was $1 per 1,000 of loan volume. So, but this paid monthly and this paid quarterly, so it was nice. It was nice to have extra money. Extra money never hurts. And because we were so the lobby was closed, I was learning all kinds of new stuff, learning the job, and I did so well they moved me to another branch that had more foot traffic, was more lucrative. I was making good money. The only drawback I saw was my branch manager, she might have been a little too laid back because she just basically left me alone. She was like, hey, do your damn job, meet the goals, and do what I tell you. She never even did say that. I just did whatever she told me. And it was a great work environment. I thrived in it because she didn't really care as long as I met the goals. But the drawback was this was a smaller regional bank. Because the other bank I was at was a huge national bank that everything was handled by somebody. This, at the regional bank level, loan renewals, we had to handle them. There was some other administrative stuff. It was more direct access to the underwriters because at the big bank, it was do the loan application, the underwriter said yay or nay. You had more direct access. I could call the underwriter directly, which is something I couldn't do at the other bank. But the trouble was I had to handle some business loan renewals, and those were a pain in the ass. You had usually 30 days to get all the banking information from the small business, and you needed a lot. I'm talking, you need 2 years of W-2s from the owners. So if there were 3 owners, you needed them from the owners and their spouses. You needed 2-3 years of business W-2s. You needed cash flow analysis. You needed everything. And you would ask them for everything. And they'd say, well, why do I have to give that? I never had to give that before. Why do I have to do this? This, and this. Because I had one customer that refused to give anything. They were like, I've banked with y'all for 100 years. And I said, well, I still need that stuff. This is what the underwriters asked me for. Oh, I can't believe y'all need that stuff. I said, well, are y'all refusing to send it? Well, I shouldn't have to. I said, okay. I told the underwriter, and the underwriter's like, okay, we're going to make every penny of the loan due immediately. And I'll let you guess what happened. The customer blamed me. Well, you didn't tell us. That's what would happen when I just decided to do absolutely nothing in this situation. This is all your fault. It's all my fault because I asked him for all that stuff, and then all of a sudden when a $90,000 loan came due in full, they couldn't have that. They were willing to send everything then. But the fact that I didn't tell them that, which I didn't know, all I did was what they told me to do. I wasn't going to beg them. If they weren't going to send it, that was the end of it. If they thought they were so important and above the law, so that's what happened. And other customers were quick about it, but it took time. It was tedious. That got old. And then there was somebody I work with. I work with a lot of people like this. You probably have too. You see them at most every job. They think because They've been there a few years and they think they run the show, and because they're loud, blunt, and angry, they're an expert on everything and you can't tell them nothing. And this person was like that. More of a minor inconvenience than anything else, but it was just annoying to deal with because they liked nothing more than to talk to me like I was stupid whenever I didn't do something that benefited them. But I knew how it works, but because I generally I go with the flow. I like to be left alone. I leave people alone. I don't like drama. I don't make waves. I just want to work, make good money, go home and watch Netflix. I don't want nonsense. I don't want anything. That's how I work. And we had a market sales guy who I was his favorite person for a while, or so he told me, because everybody blows smoke in sales jobs. That's what you'll discover is because if you ever have a bad month, that becomes commonplace. That is what they focus on in performance review. Well, they met their goals 11 out of 12 months, but that 12th month they just didn't meet their goals and they're the worst. And that one bad month they had, that becomes the end of it. And I hated that because nothing will ruin a hard worker more than you worked your ass off. You never missed a day. You came to work early. You do everything that you're told and everything that you're supposed to do. And then it comes raise time and they just find stuff. And you get rated average on everything. And you're just like, what the hell? Why didn't I work hard? And that leads people to just do the bare minimum. Because if you work your ass off and you get rated bare minimum, why would you not just do the bare minimum? That's how I see it. You can paint it however you want. You still need to work hard, but if you do all that and nothing happens, and the only reason I left the job I had was because an offer came along that it was too good to pass up. They offered more money, and I was getting paid good money. They offered better monthly incentive, and I couldn't turn it down. And why would you? If you got a great gig going, if you can find the better offer, take it.